Look, we need to have a very serious talk about the ultimate paradox sitting on the Singapore Exchange right now. Imagine you are walking past a nondescript shop in Toa Payoh. The owner is an old uncle sitting outside on a plastic stool, wearing a faded singlet and drinking a cold kopi. To the casual passerby, he looks like he's just getting by. But if you walk into the back room, you see stacks of gold bars reaching the ceiling. That is exactly what Valuetronics feels like in March 2026. We are looking at a company where the cash pile alone is worth over 50% of the entire business. How can a company be this rich yet remain so completely unloved by the market? It is a riddle wrapped in a balance sheet. At Solskjaer 85, the market is treating this electronics manufacturer like a sunset business waiting for someone to finally turn off the lights and lock the gate. But when you look at the forensic data from Investing Pro, they are giving it a low uncertainty rating with a fair value of Sol Plain 91. That is an 8% upside for a company that has been raising its dividends for 3 consecutive years without fail. Is this a mispriced fortress that the smart money is simply ignoring because it is not flashy enough? Or is it a sophisticated value trap designed to lure in yield-hungry retirees from Tampines and Bedok who just want a resilient place to park their savings? We are going to go behind the curtain and perform a forensic audit that would make a tax inspector blush. We are looking for the margin of safety, not the marketing hype. Because in this market, if you do not spot the trap, you become the bait for the institutions. Quick pause before we get to the core of the math. Let's talk about you. You aren't here for the copy tips or the hype. You're here because you want to understand the forensic truth before you commit a single dollar of your capital. But here is the uncomfortable truth about how the algorithm works. It doesn't know you are watching carefully. It doesn't know you are thinking critically. It only sees one primary signal, whether you've hit the subscribe button. Every forensic investor who watches without subscribing is effectively invisible to the machine. If my work has ever helped you identify a risk or calculate a margin of safety, hit that button now. It isn't for me. It's to tell the algorithm that data-driven SGX analysis deserves a seat at the table alongside the noise. Now, let's get back to the numbers. To the 6,400 members of our community, and especially the elite 190, who are seeing this data in real time while the rest of the market waits 14 days, you know my rule. I do not care about the glossy photos of circuit boards or the CEO's visionary speeches at the Marina Bay Sands. I care about the cold, hard math that hits the bank account. We are going to weigh the bull case against the bear case with the clinical eye of a skeptical arbitrator. We need to establish the baseline for Valuetronics, which trades under the ticker BN2. As of March 2026, they are a specialized player in the electronics manufacturing space, trying to pivot away from low-margin gadgets like electric shavers and toward high-spec industrial equipment. The latest figures show revenue at HK 1,729,000. That is an increase of 3.5% compared to the prior period, which seems positive until you realize the sector benchmark is over 5%. It is like a stagnant HDB lift that finally starts moving but takes 5 minutes just to reach the 4th floor. For a retiree in Bedok, this slow growth means the company is barely keeping pace with the rising cost of a bowl of laksa. Why is the top line struggling to catch fire? On the other hand, the net profit sits at HK $172,800,000, which is an 8.3% jump. This is much better than the 4.1% sector average, I say. It shows that while the company isn't selling a lot more, they are making more money on every unit they ship out. This is a story of margin expansion over volume growth. But the kicker is the gearing, which sits at 0.0%. They do not owe the banks a single cent. In a world where interest rates are a permanent headache for every business owner in Singapore, being debt-free is the ultimate sleep well at night metric. It is like owning your 5-room flat outright without a single dollar of mortgage left. You do not worry when the bank sends a letter because you know they have no power over you. However, the most concerning figure in this audit is the negative HK in free cash flow. It does not matter how high your accounting profit looks on a spreadsheet if the actual cash is not hitting the bank account at the end of the day. Valuetronics is currently an iron bastion. Most companies use debt like a sugary drink to get a temporary energy boost, but BN2 is strictly on a water-only diet. They are sitting on HK $100,000 in cash. This isn't just a safety net, it is a reinforced concrete floor. But the problem is that a fortress that does not expand eventually becomes a tomb. The management is sitting on so much cash, they could buy a small town. Yet they are barely growing the business. The fortress is standing, but the moat is drying up and the crocodiles have not noticed yet. The strongest argument for a forensic stance on Valuetronics is the sheer absurdity of its valuation relative to its cash holdings. This is the uncle's secret stash of the Singapore stock market. The raw fact is that Valuetronics holds HK 1,106 $100,000 in cash and cash equivalents. This cash position has remained above the 1 billion mark for the last 4 years, which is incredible considering they have consistently paid out dividends and bought back their own shares. When you compare this to a regional peer like Aztec Global, which carries debt and higher operational leverage, Valuetronics is significantly more liquid. If market conditions improve by 10%, this cash could be used for an acquisition that doubles their revenue overnight. If things get worse by 10%, that cash acts as a $180,000 shield against insolvency. For a Singaporean investor aged 50 or older, this cash pile means your capital is backed by hard liquidity that is difficult to fake. At the current price of $0.85, you are essentially buying the manufacturing business for the price of the cash in its bank account. It is like buying a leather wallet for $10 and finding a $10 note inside. The manufacturing business is just the leather that you get for free. Does the market really think the factories and the customer contracts are worth zero? That is the question you have to answer before you put your money down. Then we have the pivot toward industrial and commercial electronics, or the ICE segment. The raw fact is that ICE now contributes 84.5% of their total revenue, which is a massive jump from where they were just a few years ago. Gross profit margins have climbed from 14% to 18.8% as they ditched low-margin consumer lifestyle products. This margin profile is now moving toward the levels of a giant like venture corporation, which usually enjoys 20% margins. This is a huge shift in the quality of the business. A 10% improvement in industrial orders would likely see their net profit jump by 15% because of operating leverage. For those of you managing a benchmark comparison for your portfolio, this shift improves the quality of your dividend. The company has raised its dividend for 3 consecutive years, which is a clear sign that management is confident in their cash flow stability. It is the difference between a hawker stall selling cheap noodles and one selling premium seafood. The volume might be lower, but the profit per plate is what keeps the lights on. The pivot from selling kopio to specialty beans is almost complete. By focusing on network access and cooling solutions for AI servers, Valuetronics is moving up the food chain. However, this scenario only holds if their new industrial customers do not decide to find a cheaper alternative in India or Thailand within the next 3 years. Are these industrial contracts truly sticky, or are they just the next bubble waiting to burst? The third bull case is the Vietnam hedge. Valuetronics is not just a China play anymore. They have successfully de-risked their manufacturing footprint. Their Vietnam facility spans 52,000 square meters, and they are currently expanding it by another 30%. Back in 2022, Vietnam was just a cost center, but in 2026, it has become the primary profit driver for exports going to the United States. Unlike smaller tech firms on the Singapore exchange that are still stuck entirely in the Pearl River Delta, Valuetronics has a genuine tariff-free alternative for Western clients. If trade tensions between the US and China worsen by 10%, the Vietnam factory becomes even more valuable as a neutral ground. If tensions ease, they still have a dual base setup that allows them to optimize costs across 2 countries. For an investor with a 10-year horizon, this is geopolitical insurance. It is like having one stall in a traditional wet market and another in a modern shopping mall. You are covered no matter where the crowd decides to go. Having a footprint in Vietnam is the corporate equivalent of having a second citizenship. It provides a safety window for anyone seeking regional diversification. But we must be careful because this bull case only holds if labor costs in Vietnam do not skyrocket to match China's levels before the expansion is even finished. But we have to look at the red flags with the same intensity because ignoring them is how portfolios get wrecked. The most dangerous risk is the revenue atrophy. The raw fact is that revenue has shrunk from HK $800,000 in 2019 down to HK $1,700,000 today. That is a 39% decline in the scale of the business over 7 years. While Venture Corp has also faced challenges, they have maintained a much larger scale that allows them to absorb fixed costs efficiently. If revenue drops another 10%, the high-margin industrial business might not be enough to cover the massive overhead of running 2 large campuses. For a retiree in Singapore, this is like a popular char kway teow stall that starts using better ingredients but serves much smaller portions every year. Eventually, you start to wonder if the stall will even be there next year. If you are looking for capital growth, the historical data suggests you should be very cautious. This is a business in harvest mode, not growth mode. According to our 25% concentration rule, having a large chunk of your money in a shrinking company is a major forensic red flag. This flag only clears if we see revenue growth exceeding 5% for at least 2 quarters in a row. Is management managing for the future, or are they just managing the decline? Then there is the silent killer known as customer concentration. Valuetronics does not like to name its customers in their reports, but the data suggests they are heavily dependent on a few global giants. A single customer in the network access space likely accounts for more than 20% of their total revenue. Historically, losing a single major client can wipe out 30% of a company's market value in a single day. Most mid-cap electronics firms suffer from this, but because Valuetronics has a smaller total revenue base, the impact of a divorce is much more severe. If their top client cuts orders by just 10%, the hit to the net profit could be as high as 15%. This creates a binary risk where everything is fine until it isn't. For someone managing retirement funds, one bad phone call from a procurement officer in North America could set your financial timeline back by years. Imagine a catering business that only serves one large construction site in Jurong. If that project finishes or they switch to a cheaper caterer, your kitchen goes cold immediately. This red flag only clears if they can prove that no single customer accounts for more than 15% of their revenue by 2027. We are watching for diversification, not just survival. The third red flag is the non-cash earnings trap. As noted in the snapshot, there is a worrying gap between the profit they report and the cash they actually keep in the bank. The free cash flow is negative HK $8,700,000 despite a reported profit of $172,000. This is a sharp reversal from their 5-year average where cash usually track very close to the profit. Many tech firms are seeing inventory bloat in 2026, but the gap here is wider than the sector average. If working capital needs increase by another 10%, they will have to dip into that famous cash pile just to sustain the dividend. For a benchmark comparison, dividends paid out of savings rather than current income are always less resilient. It is like an uncle paying for your wedding dinner by withdrawing from his CPF ordinary account rather than using his monthly salary. It gets the job done today, but it is not a sustainable way to build wealth. Does this mean the dividend is at risk right now? Not immediately because the cash pile is so huge. But it does mean the quality of the earnings is under forensic review. This flag only clears if free cash flow turns positive and exceeds HK $100,000. In the next report, we need to see the cash hitting the till, not just the ledger. When we look at the Singaporean context, everything comes down to the opportunity cost of not being in a risk-free alternative. We use the yield spread formula to see if the extra stress of owning a small cap tech stock is actually paying us what we deserve. According to current data, the 10-year government securities rate is 1.97%. If we take the 5.18% yield from Valuetronics and subtract that 1.97% risk-free rate, we get a spread of 3.21% or 321 basis points. At 321 basis points, the spread is well above our 150 basis point threshold. This means the risk-reward equation tilts in favor of the bull case, provided you can handle the fact that the company is not growing. For a retiree in Ang Mo Kio, this spread means an extra $3,210 in income for every $100,000 invested compared to holding government bonds. However, you must compare this against the CPF special account floor of 4.08%. The premium over your CPF is only about 110 basis points. Is the risk of a small cap electronics firm worth a 1.1% extra return over a government guaranteed account? For many people, the answer is no, unless they already have their core fortress assets settled. This stock is not a replacement for your CPF. It is a yield kicker for the spare cash sitting in your bank account that is currently earning next to nothing. So where does this leave the retiree in Tiong Bahru, the professional in Bukit Timah, or the young accumulator in Punggol who is just starting their journey? Valuetronics is the financial equivalent of that old uncle at the market who always wears a faded singlet but owns 3 shop houses outright. He looks ordinary, maybe even a bit outdated, but his balance sheet is bulletproof and his word is gold. You wouldn't bet on him running a marathon or winning a race, but you would absolutely trust him to keep his word and pay what he owes. The bull case is clear. Half the company's value is in cash, there is 0 debt, and Investing Pro gives it a low uncertainty rating. You have a 3-year dividend raising streak and a successful expansion into Vietnam. At $85, you are paying for the cash and getting the factories for free. Even if revenue never grows again, that 5.180% yield is backed by a war chest that could fund dividends for years. But the bear case is just as loud. Revenue has shrunk 39% in 7 years, and free cash flow has turned negative. Customer concentration is a silent killer that could strike at any time. This isn't a growth story, it's a harvesting story. You're collecting yield from a business that's slowly shrinking, hoping management finds a way to deploy that mountain of cash before it becomes a monument to missed opportunities. For my own portfolio, I applied a 25% concentration rule and a yield spread test. At 321 basis points over the risk-free rate, the income clears our threshold easily and provides a real margin of safety. The low uncertainty rating from Investing Pro tells me the downside is limited because the cash is real and the debt is 0. But the negative free cash flow and the revenue atrophy keep this stock firmly in the watch closely category. This is not a set and forget investment. The forensic truth is that Valuetronics is not a story stock. It won't excite you at dinner parties in Bukit Timah. It won't double overnight like some meme stock. But for an investor who already has their CPF special account maxed out, their emergency fund in place, and their REITs diversified, Valuetronics offers something increasingly rare in this volatile market. It offers a margin of safety backed by hard cash, paying you 5.180% to wait for management to prove they can deploy that capital effectively. Is it a forensic stance? That depends entirely on what you value in your portfolio. If you want growth and high-speed momentum, you should definitely look elsewhere. If you want a fortified position that pays you well to be patient while the rest of the market panics, the math says this qualifies for a forensic stance. But you must keep your position size within the guardrails and watch that free cash flow like a hawk watches a stray chicken in the village. At $85 with a fair value of $0.91 and a low uncertainty rating, Valuetronics is a classic show me stock. Show me revenue growth, show me positive free cash flow, show me customer diversification. Until then, it is a hold for those who already own it and a watch list candidate for those who do not. We have a very clear forensic flaw at $63 if the market ever loses its mind and decides to sell. In a market chasing AI dreams and meme stocks, sometimes the smartest move is to own the boring, cash-rich, debt-free business that no one talks about. Just don't expect it to talk back to you. The bottom line is that the math doesn't lie, but it also doesn't promise a miracle. You are buying a fortress, not a rocket ship. Make sure you are comfortable with the speed of the journey before you board. All inflation figures mentioned are based on the MAS 2026 forecast of 1.0% to 2.0%. These are forensic stress tests, not guarantees. Iggy is a private researcher, not a financial advisor. Perform your own due diligence and consult with a professional before making any moves in this market.